It's scissors and scrub time.
Oh.
Do. It's a nice August evening. This August has been fucking weird, don't you think?
It was 1,000 degrees, like you were in the mouth of the devil.
And then it was freezing.
Yeah.
We were at Pink,
Yeah.
and I was freezing my ass off. And
in August. Have you ever been to a concert?
It's an August night, and I feel like it's October.
Yeah.
And tonight's one of those, like, it's weird. It was warm all day,
Mm-hmm.
and the leaves are already changing. It's August 25th.
Yeah, it's too early. Sam had his senior pictures today, and Sam is like, I don't sweat. Like, I could run a marathon in 90-degree weather, and there won't be a bead of sweat on me. Yeah, I might look like a little like I put sunscreen on.
Yeah.
But I don't like, there's no beads ever. Mike and Sam,
sweating.
It's like they're in a shower. Like there's literal beads coming down off of them. I'm like, this is disgusting. And Sam's been like that his whole, like since he was little, all the beads coming down. So he was a senior picture today, and it's like 85 and it's sunny. And I was like, oh shit. So I came home.
He's going to have sweat stains.
And he's
on the
dressed
back.
and he has jeans on for the for the pictures. And he had a short sleeve shirt and a long sleeve shirt. They're two different colors, like to change, during to see what he looks better, right? And I come in, he comes down the stairs wearing the long sleeve shirt. I'm like, what are we doing here?
I would be in a t-shirt.
Already has beads of sweat in my house. Beads of sweat. The back has sweat. The chest has sweat. I'm like, take it off. Take it off and put the white shirt on. And I was like, we'll bring that with us. It'll be dry by the time. If I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be a nightmare. But thank God when we got up to Newbury.
It was cooler.
It was cooler. The sun was like behind clouds. So he wasn't like physically sweating.
The moment the thought entered my head to go to the beach, the clouds rolled in. That was the end of that.
No.
Vienna in her senior pictures, I've asked her, I don't know, 15 fucking times, please send me the pictures because it didn't come into my email. Well, you got them. No, I didn't. Well, can't you just download them? Can you just send them to me? Again tonight. Vienna, could you just send them to me? Well, there's an envelope over there with the code. Is there a reason you can't send me these fucking... It's going to take you 2 seconds forward to my email. Can't fucking do it. Nope.
I haven't seen them yet. I saw a couple on the camera. They looked cute, of course. I'm like, can you smile?
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, she smiles with teeth. That's a different kid.
Yeah. I mean, I don't smile with teeth. I get it.
She has to smile with teeth.
But I'm like, Sam, can you smile? And this older lady, she does it like right in the middle of Newburyport. So like people watching and walking by and stuff. And this older lady's like, you have a handsome smile. You should smile. So
he's laughing.
He laughed and she took a picture, but he's looking off to the side. It is adorable.
Of course it is.
That's adorable. But I don't know that I want a picture of him looking off to the side.
She usually gives me the teethless smile. And it just looks like, I hate you. That's what her smile says. I hate you. You're an ish, Yeah. When she smiles a full smile, her face lights up. And I'm always like, give me your teeth. Give me it. So she did take some really good photos. Now I got to narrow it down.
That's the worst. It's like, I can only pick like 2.
Yeah, they came out really
I want
cute.
them all,
right.
But.
So she did okay. So, but this episode today has absolutely nothing to do with senior pictures.
No, zero.
Nothing
zero.
at all.
It was just that it was a warm day and Sam was sweating.
Actually, the exact opposite. Today we're going to talk about burns.
It was warm, but not that warm.
It was not that warm. But what happens on a warm night is we like to do barbecues.
Everybody does.
Right. So I just got to find my email again because we had a lovely reader send in an email. And it says, episode this, please! ! Hello to my 2 favorite podcasters. That makes me happy.
Ooh.
What's up, friends? So, IDK, why I don't think to pose this idea sooner, or maybe I did. IDK, life is crazy. Good thing I know what IDK means. Anyway, please cover the story. I think it would fit perfectly in the world-famous summer series. At least somebody gets me. And honestly, it just feels super sci-fi. I'll link it below, but the gist is that this little girl got horrifically burned from a barbecue grill and not only survived, but is almost scar-free from freaking spray on skin, which is fucking bizarro. It is sci-fi. Imagine what that must look like coming out.
I know.
And it's all skin.
But it's
grosses
liquid.
me out on a good day.
But it's just liquid coming out.
I don't know, because I'm thinking like fucking beige skin's coming out or whatever color you are. All right, I know Sparkles doesn't much care for grays because of reasons, but the fact that my absolute favorite thing that Jackson tried to do is actually real is insanity to me. Grey's Anatomy has been around for 50 years. Like, when are we done here?
I thought it was done.
Is it not done? I watched the first couple of seasons. I haven't watched it since, I don't know,
I
1987.
watched the first couple episodes because my mother made me because, cousin loyalty, and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. Well. All right. So, and the icing on the cake for me, the treatment was done right here in my city. In Vegas at UMC Trauma. Same place. Hold on a minute, second page. Same place my dad went when he, I don't mean to laugh at this, but the way she wrote it, when he melted his face off when my radiator exploded. But that's another story, which I'd love to hear.
Yeah, I would love to
You can't
hear
leave me hanging like that.
Your
like,
face melted off.
Is it like when my father went to light the grill and burned his eyebrows off?
My aunt did
Anyway,
that.
keep the great work. Hope the hubbies and the soldiers are doing well. Oh, and how's Sparkle's pup doing? Is he still with us? Love you both, Jess.
Poor Pluto has passed over.
He's over
to
the
other
Rainbow
side.
Bridge, Pluto.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum. I read that. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Plutes.
Pluto is no longer with us.
Well,
He does
you
not
would
record
notice in
with
the
us.
last few episodes, you don't hear.
Yeah.
You don't hear the constant licking.
No.
So, yes, Pluto has crossed the Rainbow Bridge. He's with Hugo Hamilton,
He is.
living his best life. So, today we are going to talk about backyard barbecues. Like I said, my dad, one day I've said this before, because we do talk about grill safety like year one summer series. We talked about it, but we're going to revisit because this is a really excellent topic. But yeah, my dad goes to light the grill. I should say I come over and I look at my father and he looks weird because he's got no eyebrows. I'm like, what happened to you? Oh, yeah, my father's never going to tell you when something bad's happened. So Paul's like, oh, you didn't tell you what happened? He went to light the grill and he left the cover down.
And opened
it. And woof! And there goes eyebrows. My cat, Hugo Hamilton, did the same thing. He got a little too close to the fireplace.
Oh, Hugo.
Cats have those like long, weird eyebrows.
Yes,
So I'm looking at him, and one of them's like really short and curly. It's like a little curl. I'm like, Brian, did you cut the cat's eyebrow? He's like, why would I do that? I'm like, I don't know. And I'm looking at the kids, like, did you guys cut his eyebrows? And I'm like, oh, it's burnt. He got too close to the fire, the dumbass. But that's not what killed him. Anyway, different story for a different day. We're going to talk about backyard barbecue safety in a couple of stories, and we're going to go into the treatment that this young lady went through. So, injuries from barbecues and backyard fire pits are on the rise because there are more fire pits out there now.
Everybody's got a fire pit.
Everybody's got a fire pit. So my girlfriend that from England, she spent like 10 years here. She took the fire pit back to England. She's like, nobody had fire pits. She goes, I was doing s'mores and fire pits. All my neighbors had to get fire pits.
Yeah.
And pumpkin pie. She brought that back too because they don't like pumpkin pie.
Oh, God. I do
Okay.
love a good pumpkin pie.
Oh, I was a late bloomer to pumpkin pie.
Me too. I didn't like it as a kid.
I didn't
but
like it. I
love
wouldn't touch
now.
it as a kid. If it wasn't chocolate, I wasn't touching it.
Yeah.
Now, I could literally bathe in pumpkin pie.
Do you know what I got today?
Pumpkin pie?
No. Pumpkin pie saltwater taffy.
So
So good.
good. You know how I feel about saltwater taffy.
I love it.
Came in the house. What did you offer me in the house? I was like, really, Laura? You know I'm not going to eat that.
Chocolate covered candy corn.
Candy corn.
Chocolate
Candy corn.
covered.
It's up there with black licorice.
I love
the
candy
nastiest
corn.
shit in the world.
No.
It shouldn't even be a candy.
It's delicious.
You can debate about that amongst yourselves. Candy corn is shit.
Love it.
It's a waste. If it isn't chocolate, I don't. And even chocolate covered, I don't want your
It's
fucking.
chocolate covered.
I don't want your fucking candy corn. It's disgusting. All right. Data from the U.S. Consumer and Product Safety Commission found that the number of people treated in the ER from barbecue injuries has increased 18% over the last 10 years. There have been at least 3,500 fire pit injuries related to fire pits in 2017, which to me is yesterday, but it's not.
No.
A quarter of the victims are under the age of 5. Some get burned the next day when they step on the hot coals because those coals take forever
To cool
down.
Yeah.
70% of U.S. homes have a fire pit, grill, or a smoker. I ain't smoking shit. I'll tell
I
you
got
that.
a fire pit and a grill.
I got a fire pit and a grill. Factors that lead to injuries are improperly cleaned grills, leaks or breaks, because in New England, you leave your grill out all year long because you are grilling steaks in January, but New England weather is not conducive to a very safe grill. Leaving the grill unattended or having it too close to something that can catch fire, like your house. Now, if you listen to our original episode, you'll hear how one of our girlfriends lit her house on fire with the grill.
Yeah.
I
Don't
think
put it on your
She
deck.
melted the siding.
Yep.
So Memorial Day 2017, we have John Ripley. He's with his 2 boys, and they're hanging at the backyard fire pit. His 6-year-old son fell backwards into the fire pit, and he doesn't know what he's doing, so he's rolling around in the fire pit. So John immediately removes his son, who's rolling around in the fire pit and trying to get out. When the boy was pulled out, his skin immediately, and that's what people don't realize, burns, it's immediate injury. Like you see the immediate results of that burn.
Yeah.
So his skin is basically sloughing off.
Ugh.
He's rushed to the ER. He's sent to the burn unit at Johns Hopkins for 8 days, where he goes under many skin grafts, which is like the number one burn treatment is skin grafts. He suffered 3rd-degree burns on his chest, hands, and 10% of his body.
Ugh.
Poor kid. So, but he's going under laser surgeries to help with scarring. This is going to lead into the story that the email we got. She sent us a story about Aston. Now, I tried to find I like details. I need meat and potatoes. I want some juice. I really want to get into it. There's nothing. I can't even get the girl's last name. So she's a young girl out of Logandale, Nevada. She's at a backyard barbecue with her family. She quotes, "My dad turned on the grill to grill some chicken, I think. Once he turned it on, it blew him back, and I was pinned between 2 pillars." She ends up with 2nd-degree burns on her hands and face, and she's rushed to UMC Las Vegas. That's where this ReCell burn treatment is. After being treated with the therapy, she's released 12 days later and has no scars from this treatment. When, in my career, like I was working the night of the Rhode Island station fire. So we had many, many burn victims come in. The treatment is not, the older treatment, this stuff is amazing.
Yes.
Compared to what it's multiple, I forgot what the word is, but they take all the dead escharotomies. They take all the dead tissue off and they bring them back multiple times.
And they make cuts in the tissue because
it's scarring down.
So then you can't breathe.
Yeah, and they contract and they can't, it's like if you heat shrink wrap, it shrinks into itself. That's what your skin does. And it causes all these contractures and it causes their fingers not to work and the hands not to work and their legs not to work. So they're constantly going in to release these, which is extremely painful. They're constantly battling infection. Then when they feel like they're over the hump of it, then they've got to replace the skin. And so whatever is left is being skin grafted and they're taking donor sites. So the good skin is also scarred from the donor sites. It's burn victims go through hell. They really go through hell for what the treatments are. And I can remember as a kid, there was a story and they made a movie of it. Bernadette Peters was the mother. And it's a true story of this man, when men get divorced, some psychopaths hurt the mother through the kids.
Right.
So he took the kid to a hotel room. He was going to kill himself and the kid by fire. So the kid's sleeping in the bed. He sets the bed on hotel room on fire, but he didn't stay in the room.
Of course not.
He called the ambulance from across the street and the poor kid, he survived. He's unrecognizable. Oh. And of course, wasn't he the cutest fucking kid you've ever seen in your life? These big brown eyes. God bless this kid. I don't know where he is today. I should look him up. But after the movie, they show you him, and he was a teenager at the time. And he was 6 when it happened. Not a stitch of hair on his face, scarred to from head to toe. I mean, he had to have 90% burns. Skateboarding, doing his thing. God bless him.
Good.
But it makes me think if we had some of the treatments today, how much better it could have been for him. So Sparkles is going to talk about the treatment that this young lady went under, Aston.
Yes, it's called ReCell. ReCell is by Avita Medical Incorporated. It is like an exciting newer treatment for burn patients that was FDA approved in 2018 for severe burns.
Oh, so it's really new.
Yeah. ReCell is they take cells from the patient. So it's not like we don't take cells from somebody else and make this. This is taking your own cells. Skin? Yes. So it's a cell harvesting system that prepares, produces, and delivers a regenerative.
Thank you. Regenerative. I can't say it either.
It rejuvenates. Yeah. Regenerative. Oh my God.
I can't say it.
Regenerative.
Yes. There it is, Laura. There it is.
Thank you. Cell suspension called spray-on skin cells. It uses a small amount of the patient's own skin to make the spray on skin cells that stimulate healing and repigmentation throughout the wound bed. It was then approved to be used on children as young as 1 month old.
Oh, wow.
And for soft tissue injuries like a degloving.
Oh, yeah.
Or, if you have to remove a large skin cancer, you have a big deficit in the skin. you can use this for those defects
Wow.
now. Skin grafting has been the standard of care for burns and other soft tissue defects, but skin grafting uses a lot of donor sites.
Yeah.
Like Nicole was saying, like we take the good skin off of parts that weren't burned and now make a wound for skin grafting, which you have to get skin to put on the other places. And also when you take skin off a donor site, we do mesh it and make it like a little bit larger, but it's only like,
you can only get so much out of it.
Right. If you take skin off the thigh to use on like the arm, it's still only covering half the arm.
And when you mesh it, it makes it look like a fishnet.
Right.
So it
The
scars
scar
like
is
a fishnet.
Yeah.
So the spray on maybe is probably smoother.
Right. So so skin grafting itself uses a lot of donor sites, especially if you're severely burned, you need more donor sites. That leaves the patient with additional wounds that are associated with pain, delayed healing, multiple procedures because you need to keep coming in for more surgeries, discoloration, and scarring. Since RECELL uses a very small amount of donor cells, the donor sites are much, much smaller, so it doesn't leave these patients with more scars.
Does it use a smaller donor site and cover larger areas?
Yes.
Perfect.
So the RECELL system can prepare enough cells to treat a wound 80 times the size of the donor sample.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's huge.
So the donor site, so say the donor site is the size of a credit card, that donor site could
Cover
treat
chest.
a wound that covers a patient's entire back.
Wow,
so you're
that's
taking skin off the
huge.
size of a credit card to cover your entire back. Where now we take it the size of your thigh,
And it covers
half your arm.
Right.
So RECELL is prepared at the point of care in less than 30 minutes. And it allows for less surgeries, which equal less pain, less dressing changes,
poor patients,
less
what they go
hospital
through.
stays. And that also equals less medical costs. So it benefits the patient, it benefits the hospital systems, whatever. It also, like they were saying, like your skin heals from the outside in. So if you have a wound, you see it. Like when you cut your knee, it heals from the outside of the wound in. So if you have a huge burn.
Which is why your scab looks like it's shrinking.
Right. So if you have a huge burn on your back, the outside normally when you do the skin grafts and stuff will heal from the outside. But the middle of that wound takes forever and ever and ever. This stuff you can spray all over the wound bed. So it's getting the same treatment. Like it kind of treats the same as if just the edges were getting treated.
How come we're not using this yet?
I don't know that we're
I
not.
haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it, but I don't know that they're not using
You're
it
right.
during days because we use a lot of things that I don't see a lot of either. But they treat they say it's like unbelievable, and now they can use it on pretty much every age. And they used to only be able to use it on severe burns, and now they can use it on less severe burns. They use it in conjunction with skin grafts. So if you do still need like if
But
you're
still, it
burned
might
90%,
fill in the bumps and
it
stuff
will
to make
fill
it
everything
smooth.
in, and it helps regenerate all your cells throughout the wound.
This is like a game changer.
Yes, huge.
Yeah, these poor burn patients. I swear the burn ICU nurses, the turnover rate must be huge because these patients are in so much pain.
And then they put them in they have these dressings on, obviously, over this new skin and the donor sites and everything else. And they put them in these whirlpools to lessen moisten the dressings and then take them off and then debride all the skin. And it's
and when
horrifying.
we first started, was it Silvadene they used to put on the bed?
Yes, Silvadene dressings.
And it would turn everything brown.
Everything.
The bed was brown, the sheets were brown, the dressings everything was brown.
Yeah.
But it was, we did that one episode. We each talked about what we want, and it's silver is in it, and silver helps, but it oxidizes.
Right. It's antimicrobial, but it looks
crazy,
awful.
Yeah.
So then you had said the lasers, that kid was getting laser treatment, and what you want to get started. So lasers for burns is a relatively newer treatment too. I think it got started in 2015, across the board. So every year, more than 1 million people in the U.S. seek treatment for problematic scarring. The standard approaches for treatment for scarring were massage, moisturizing, silicone sheeting, and surgical excisions of scars. When you surgically excise,
it's going to create another
it
scar.
just creates another scar, which they do the best they can,
Right.
so you can get mobility back, and you can use your limbs and whatever, but you're still going to have a scar there. Since 2015, lasers have been used to treat scarring and have made significant improvements. They use a pulse dye laser to reduce inflammation. It hits like all the little small blood vessels and it decreases inflammation in the scarring. And then they use fractional CO2 lasers, and that resurfaces the skin.
That's what, when people get a Fraxel facial, that's what they're doing.
Right. And that's
they
how
look
strong
like
it is. Yeah.
They look like they've had a goddamn 4th-degree burn when they've had it done, but wow, what your skin looks like after.
So laser treatments are outpatient procedures. They're done under general anesthesia because they are painful. And if you're getting your scars revised, it's a lot of work. They help reduce pain, itchiness. These people with these scars have severe itchiness. There was one kid that was like a young kid that had severe burns. His scars were so itchy, they were giving him like oxycodone or something. It was so,
oh my God,
because he couldn't, it was like constant. Like, and it hurts when it's itching that bad. So so then they did laser treatment on him. He didn't need any meds.
Oh, that's huge.
So they reduce pain, itchiness. They increase the pliability of the scar and the skin, and they smooth the texture and the bulk of the scar tissue. You know, if you get a regular scar, it bulks up over your skin. This will help reduce it to make it flat.
Yeah.
And people are usually back to their normal activities after a laser procedure, like the next day. It's not like it's downtime.
Even for like the self-esteem and the cosmetic of it.
Yes, it treats
it's
like,
so
you know,
scarring.
it's a different color. The scar is a different color than your skin. This takes away that color, like the pigment in it. It literally, it smooths it out. So when we make it look like a fishnet, this helps make it look smooth.
Yes.
Like the treatment for burns is getting so much better.
Because it's barbaric, what we were watching.
Yeah. But they also say they can use the lasers on old burns. And it is still helping them.
Wow.
So
huge.
I don't know that it's going to, you know, there's some people that have those like melted
Oh my God.
faces. I don't know what it would, but it will still get rid of some of that scarring. And it's usually covered by insurance because the scars are debilitating. So it's usually covered.
There's a lot I can complain about, having been in my career as long as I have.
Yes.
But one of the crazy things about being in the career as long as I have is how I have watched medicine change.
Yeah.
For the better.
Yeah.
I was just doing a case the other day, and they were putting the stimulators in the brain for people who have tremors, like Parkinson's and stuff. And I had a grandmother who had Parkinson's, and she had it so bad that when we would visit her, you couldn't eat off of plates. You had to eat off of paper plates because she'd shatter everything. When I started at my hospital a million years ago, I remember watching one surgeon, and it was the first time this had been done. And the patient had brain surgery awake, and they were stimulating to reduce tremors. This had to be 1997.
Yeah.
And it was revolutionary. We were all like, holy shit, do you see what they're doing in that room? This is crazy, blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking the other day, I'm like, and here I am. It's a fucking routine procedure now.
Routine. We do them.
We're doing
all
this
the time.
all the time.
Yep.
The very first stent we did in an aorta, revolutionary. 3 days of prep to bring in the stents, and look at what we're gonna do. We're gonna go in the groin, and that's all they're doing. They're doing them so much now they don't remember how to do them open.
Right.
I did a case the other night. When I started, Balfour retractors were standard on every GYN case. Like, that's what you had the Balfour already.
Yeah.
They didn't know what the Balfour was. The GYN people had never seen the Balfour.
Right.
And I'm like, how have you never seen the fucking Balfour? It's
Right.
all we ever use. And the nurse helping them, who had worked with me forever, was like, oh, don't worry about it. She knows how to use it.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know if I should be proud of that.
Right.
But to see how less invasive surgery has gotten, for me, I'm selfish. I hate it because I like a big open case.
Cases, yeah.
But for the patients,
Right.
I mean, this is stuff that would have kept them in the hospital 2 weeks is day surgery now.
Right.
It's insane what
And
we're
if you
doing.
see these burn, like I remember burn patients back in the late 90s. And
So scarred.
The scarring was just
And
horrific.
the pain, and they'd come back day after day for debridements.
And we still 100% get people needing to come back. Obviously, they're going to need to be debrided and stuff, but I feel like what I'm looking at
is going to be better.
is less horrific than it was 20 years ago.
Yes, because
And
the burn itself is such a traumatic thing.
Oh,
You know,
I
nobody's
mean,
getting
their
burned just
infection
hanging
and-
out. There's a traumatic something that
Right.
started the burn, and then you are scarred. Depending on where the burn is, some of these people are scarred so bad. If your face, to be able to fix this
Yeah.
and not have people facially scarred from these.
Oh, just your hands, to be able to use your hands. Like if these can
Fingers,
get rid of the
yeah.
scars
Your
and you don't
legs,
have contractions.
Your knees,
yeah.
if your knees gets, you can't move
Yeah.
your legs,
No.
you know, like it's crazy.
And the donor sites are huge. Like if we can get rid of the huge donor
Yeah.
sites that we take to cover these people, that will be.
I mean, one of the grossest parts of the job for me is when they do hand you the skin. They're like, here you go, hold on to that. And you're like,
I know.
oh, this is like just skin.
We just put that on the back
Yeah,
table.
let's put that on the back
some
table to
saline
already
on
mesh it. You
Yeah.
know, I'm like,
They don't like the skin.
no. And then they're meshing it and sticking to the mesh, and you're like, oh, okay, yep. No,
We
no,
get
I'm
just,
good.
here's the forceps, pull it.
That's the days when I'm like, when I was 4, dancing around my living room in a tutu, never thought this is what I would be.
Someone will be handing me
I
mesh
was going to be a
skin.
rockhead. I
Yeah.
was not going to be peeling skin off of somebody's body.
No.
You know, God bless.
Yeah, so these treatments, there's hope for all these people that they can have more productive and less painful.
So I'm following it up with a little fire safety.
Okay.
Little girl safety, little fire pit safety, because a couple of years ago we did have a little girl dancing around a fire pit in a dress, and the dress caught fire. So let's start with no loose clothing when you're near the fire pits. You've got little kids around these fire pits, and these girls, you've got to be diligent with them because they'll end up in it in 2 seconds. Never leave a grill unattended. Never try to move a lit or a hot grill.
Oh my God.
They can remain hot for at least an hour after use. Wear correct clothing, careful of shirt tails, apron strings that can catch fire. I thought I had more of that, but I guess I do not. I mean, common sense around even like, I get nervous even with the sticks that I put the marshmallows on that some kid's gonna friggin' impale them on themselves.
Yeah.
So, because I love a good marshmallow. And I love a good s'mores.
I love a good burnt
love
marshmallow.
s'mores.
You know that?
So we're always doing s'mores at my little fire pit, but be careful around them.
Nicole likes to throw the log in, make the fire explode, and then go, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
As it's
Hitting
showering over
somebody.
everybody
Yep.
around me. But I've usually had about 5 or 6 high noons by the time I do that.
Don't use a fire pit when you're
when
drinking.
you're drinking. Because my husband's not the fire pit guy. I'm usually the one that gets a fire pit going because I love him, but you know he's not the hunter-gatherer that he thinks he is. So it's usually me starting the fire and getting the food. So just be careful around them. Really watch your kids around them.
Yes.
Watch ponytails. Watch dresses. You know, kids fooling around with shit out near the fire. Like just be very
Throwing
very
stuff in it.
in it. Yes.
Don't throw anything
The
in a fire
marshmallows
pit.
when they're on fire. You know, that can be a good torch. You know, like you pull it out.
I like it on fire.
Yes, but I don't want to
I
keep
watch
walking
it.
around with it on
No.
fire because it can burn for a
Yes,
little bit.
don't walk around with anything on fire.
So there is another installation of the world famous summer series. Thank you very much.
That was the resale stuff was very
Yeah,
interesting.
it's very interesting. And in Vegas, God bless, everything's beautiful in Vegas. Oh, the showgirls and
It's like,
everything.
is it?
Well, they all have the
There's a lot of lights.
a lot of lights, a lot of flash out there in Vegas, a lot of sequins. You know, I love sequins.
You do love a good.
You know, I love sequins and bling. So have a wonderful summer. Enjoy your fire pits. Just be very careful around them, please.
Yeah, don't fool around. It's fire.
It's fire.
Whether it's in your yard
This
or
girl is on fire.
yeah, don't fool around at fire.
We don't want to be meshing your skin because it's gross.
No.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.
Like, subscribe, rate, and review the Scissors and Scrubs podcast on whatever podcast app you listen to us on. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Scissors and Scrubs. And email us any of your stories or thoughts to scissorsandscrubs@gmail.com.